This is just another quick watch video. Another one of these my late father's watches. I'll bring up some clips of this closer. But it's what's called an Omega Seamaster 200 pre-bond. So this was apparently Omega Seamaster in the late 80s, right up until I was watching a few videos about it. I think 1994 was about when they canceled it and replaced it with the, if you're into watches, like the common Omega Seamaster 300 professional, 300 meter professional. So this was only 200 meters, obviously. It's a chronometer. At least this one I have is a chronometer, and it's kind of a little old timey. I mean, it's really really thin. Here, let's pull this up. Let's focus on this. It's really a thin watch for a diver. Like, I guess, similar to that Submariner that I posted the video about that my father gave me that he bought in '86. So this is a little bit newer. He didn't buy this back then. He must have, I don't know the story, and he's gone now, so I can't ask him. But he definitely didn't have this growing up, so I think this was something he bought off, eBay or, some pre-owned watch shop. Probably eBay, because it's a little tattered. I think he just probably bought it out of interest. Maybe this was a watch he had looked at back then, but I'm almost certain he didn't have this growing up. He had a different Seamaster that we believe he gave away to one of his caretakers before he passed away, because I remember him talking about that. But it was more of like a dressier Seamaster. I don't think it had a rotating bezel. But this one, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I was sizing it, so it's interesting. He has the box, but it doesn't have the top. It has a sticker with a serial number, and then even put a note in here that talks. This, my dad always made these kind of notes and stuff. He was talking about it being, it says, this Omega Seamaster loses 5 to 6 seconds per day. It needs to be adjusted to run faster. So I don't know if that was a note for himself or, I don't know. I don't know when he wrote that. If it was for one of us, when he gave it to me or one of my brothers. But interesting enough, I told you I was sizing the bracelet for my wrist. He had obviously a much bigger wrist than I do. And it's running a little fast, actually. So I set the time, I don't know, 11 a.m.-ish, and it's 8 p.m. right now, and it seems like it's maybe 2 or 3 seconds faster than when I set it. So let's say 2 seconds gained in 12 hours, which is like 4 seconds fast over 24 hours. That's still actually within good spec for a well-running automatic movement, mechanical movement. That's actually in the COCS certification for chronometer. So seemingly it's still running good. It'd be interesting to see if it's consistent or just the first day. But it's peculiar that he had that note about it running slow, losing time. So I don't know what that's about. And then this is another reason I don't think it was his. This is the clamshell box, and it has the pillow and everything in here. You can see the extra links. You may have seen them, but this is really tattered. Like, he wouldn't have done this. I don't know what happened to this. This box is like all chewed up. More reason why I think he probably bought it used. And then what's funny is it has the little warranty, I don't know what you call this, wallet thing, but then it just has a couple pieces of paper in it. It doesn't have a warranty card. So I don't know. I don't even know if I think they were doing warranty cards around 1990. They must have been. So maybe it was a gray market purchase. I don't know. But he definitely didn't buy this new. I know that for certain, because I would have seen it years past. But it's kind of interesting to watch. I kind of thought it was crap and kind of dull, and then I was sizing it, and the bracelet's a little funky. The way it's set up here, I'll pull this up to the camera. These links are just all the pins and sleeves, but there's 2 different pieces, and you can separate them, so it's kind of confusing. And then it has a taper, and I was losing track of which link size I was on when I was resizing it, and then I wanted to, have the clasp kind of in the appropriate spot in the bottom of my wrist, not, not off center. I wanted it pretty much well centered. And I don't know, it's a little weird, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of just like, it's almost like it's like boring and nice. It's like understated. Like nobody would even notice this watch, even though it has that typical, I gotta get out of the way. It has that typical, get the glare off it. I guess 80s, 90s, just diver watch look. Not too unlike a Submariner, like a Rolex, but this doesn't stick out like a Rolex. This just looks kind of boring. Here, let me take it off and hold it up to the camera. So you can kind of see. Hopefully this is still pretty sharp. But I don't know. It's just kind of like low key. It's almost like cool that it's boring. Like I really don't. I feel like wearing this, like nobody would comment on it. Like some people will notice a Rolex or something shiny or fancy. Like this is so boring that I feel like nobody would notice it. But it's still like got all the nice heritage and stuff. The bracelet's a little bit funky. It has like the diver's extension, but there's literally no micro adjustment. These extra pins on the side I realize are just for the clasp to be able to, the little fold in locks. So literally you have to size this correctly, and like I don't know. There's like one half size link that was on the bracelets. I don't know if it was all of them, but I was able to take that one out and put in a full size and got it like literally just about right. But if I swap it back to that half size link and take out a full link, then it's too tight. So it's like, I don't know. Most watches you have a little bit of adjustment, but this thing you don't. But it's in good shape, It's not worth a ton. It's not nothing. It's kind of a somewhat vintage Omega. So I was looking at them on eBay. It seems like some of them in nice condition like this have sold kind of in like the $900 range. So not nothing. It's definitely a nice watch, but definitely more expensive than like the Seikos and stuff that I typically would buy for $300 to $500. But yeah, it's kind of a cool watch. So I'm gonna wear it for a few days, see how the time is, and see if it's still pretty consistent. Maybe he added service. I don't know. I feel like he would have taken that note out, but it's interesting. Seamaster chronometer. Let me pull it up one more time. How close can I get with this 23 to actually focus? I know it's a little soft, wide open, but oh yeah, you can get really close. That's pretty surprising. If I stop it down a little bit, it might be even sharper. I was going to get my macro lens out. I think I will at the end of this video. I'll throw the 80mm macro on and take some video. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of random. And something funny for the kind of perfectionist OCD person, if you look at the crown, when you tighten it all the way down, the Omega is like pointed sideways, not the appropriate way up, but it's kind of correctly pointed, like straight on. I thought that was kind of interesting. Seems like most watches, they don't bother to even kind of align it. The only watch I can think of that it is perfectly aligned and it's, like a design that has to be a certain way is the Tudor North Flag I bought some years ago. The first kind of nicer watch I bought on my own. The Tudor shield on it, on the crown, does, when you tighten it down, does actually align up perfectly vertical like it should. So yeah, let me throw this on the like on the watch pillow, kind of in the beaten up box, and I'll stick it on here. Let me do this real quick. So I'll basically get it like this under some good light with my 80mm macro lens, and take some video and maybe kind of overlay some comments while I do it, just for kind of that macro watch close-up. I never realized how hard these top-down macro shots are, at least with this big 80mm macro. I had to lean the tripod in a way that I'm literally having to step on the back leg to keep it from toppling forward onto the watch and the desk. And it's because I need to be kind of hung over it. I guess that's why people have those like rigs where they're hanging their camera above their desk, like from an arm. I mean, have to look into something like that because this doesn't work so hot sitting on the macro, or sitting on the tripod, I mean. Even this, like I had to really back up. This is like over beyond I had to go to the next setting with the autofocus positions on the 80mm to be able to go past a half meter. It's just crazy. I didn't realize how close in, like I guess to get the video of this whole watch, like this larger subject, you really can't get too close to fit the whole thing in. A little crazy. Alright, this is hella suspect, but I'm going to try it anyway. Kind of have the 80mm. I still have it on the tripod. Only one leg is like a pseudo monopod, and I'm kind of using the OIS with autofocus continuous. Try to see if I can kind of see the whole thing, and yeah, that didn't work. Pseudo high-end camera movements, yeah, my ass. Yeah, that doesn't work at all, but it's worth a try. Just trying to like get everything, but also I can't change the focus to go to the closest area. It's going to be stuck at 5 meters. Alright, let's try another fake fancy camera movement. I'm going to kind of pan over here on my tripod bullshit gimbal thing. Oop, that wasn't smooth. I slowed down the autofocus to speed 3. I don't even know if it's keeping up. Alright, this is just silly. Alright, talk to you guys next time. Later.